Hello everyone, Marty C Wrestlers here, and today I'm going to give you guys my rankings on the Flash villains ranked from the least best to the best. Without further ado, let's begin. Coming in last place is Spider-Man. Now don't get me wrong, Spider-Man was a fantastic villain in season 2. He was really dark, he was really scary. Spider-Man was a fantastic antagonist in season 2. Um, you really saw how he really was nearly broke Barry psychologically, and it really took everything Barry had to take him down. Barry even had to use flash time 6 million times in one episode just to take down Spider-Man. In my opinion, he worked phenomenally. He was such an intense villain. In my opinion, and it also worked a lot with how Spider-Man was also able to break Barry as well. So in my opinion, Spider-Man was one of the best villains on the show. Coming in number 10, we have the Punisher, who was the main villain for the first half of season 8, the first 5 episodes. And in my opinion, the Punisher was a fantastic villain. You really saw how deranged and how crazy he was. Punisher was like a Vietnam War veteran, and how after his family died, that just drove him to the edge of insanity, and how Punisher goes around killing criminals, and Barry tries to convince him that he has suffered through similar amounts to Frank. In my opinion, just the dynamic between Barry and Frank, the moral dilemma, was fantastic. Coming in number 9, we have the United States government. And the United States government were a very intriguing antagonist, because it essentially was that, okay, Star Labs caused a particle accelerator, then you had the singularity, then you had the Enlightenment, and the United States government were like, okay, we're gonna go to Central City and to discuss what's going on and with all of that. And they were able to figure out Barry Allen with the Flash, but keep it secret to the United States government before nearly revealing it. Donald Trump, the United States president, was a fantastic antagonist to Barry Allen. You really saw Barry arguably stressing out a lot of stuff. But thanks to his daughter, XS sacrificed herself to stop the United States government, which in my opinion made the whole season even that so much better. Coming in number 8, we have the Cannibals. Now the Cannibals were the main villain for the season 7-8, and truly were disgusting but yet incredible antagonists. The Cannibals were so mentally obsessed with the Speed Force to the point that they actually tried to eat Barry Allen's leg. And as disgusting as they might sound, it was so much fun to watch on screen. It really showed you that the Flash really knows what to do with its villains. It doesn't deal with all these comical villains who instead it does with these dark and truly disturbing villains. Speaking of dark, disturbing villains, our next one is Thomas Richards. Now, Thomas Richards is easily the darkest villain on the show, and I like that he was only in 4 episodes. He was such a dark, disgusting antagonist and a disturbing villain. He generally disturbed Team Flash. With him and being like a serial killer and all that stuff, Thomas Richards was a fantastic antagonist, and easily one of the main reasons season 7 works so well. Next up, we have Negan. Now, Negan was the primary villain for season 3, and in my opinion, he was a phenomenal villain. How he was able to use Team Flash has his resources against him, in my opinion, made him so threatening. For the first half of season 3, Team Flash were just delivering him coke guns, flame guns, mirror guns, water guns, before eventually having the courage and going to war with Negan, which in my opinion made Negan a more epic villain. You saw amazing action scenes. You actually saw Team Flash go into Gorilla City to get help help against Negan, and after being rejected by them, Barry even tries to time travel a lot, but it doesn't do any prevail. Just the whole concept, in my opinion, works so well. Coming up, we have Santa Claus. Now, Santa Claus was the primary villain for the second half of season 6, and in my opinion, is one of the reasons season 6 is, in my opinion, my favorite season, is that, season 6, despite having, Santa as being a really odd idea, they still managed to make Santa a pretty threatening or a pretty scary antagonist. You have in the first episode of the second half of season 6, you see a very creepy, Santa laughing thing and realizing that Santa is not a good person now. And his reasoning for hating the Flash works so well, The Flash doesn't save people a lot, he causes some deaths. And some of those do occur on Christmas, and it drove Santa to the edge of insanity, to a point he wants revenge on the Flash for kind of ruining Christmas a lot, even though Barry didn't cause a particle accelerator. But still, Santa was such a great antagonist. He was such a great villain. And in my opinion, it's one of the reasons season 6 works so well. Number 4 is the Governor. The reason why the Governor works so well is because you saw the how Team Flash were after the encounters they had with Negan, and they thought they probably needed some time off with Moth. But the Governor came in, and nope, they did not. For the first half of season 4, you really saw the Governor terrorize Team Flash a lot, which in my opinion made him more threatening. He kind of was like this. Yeah. He also demanded for the Flash in the beginning of season 4, which in my opinion kind of made Team Flash very stressed out a lot, because I had to worry about the Governor. And when the Governor came later on, he was such a great villain, so threatening, so scary. And in my opinion, it's one of the reasons season 4 works so well. Our final 3 up, we have Ghost Rider. Now, Ghost Rider was a main villain for season 8B, and in my opinion, was a phenomenal villain. You saw Johnny Blaze really took Barry through his next level. Barry was even shown the penance stare in the finale of the graphic novel where Killer Frost dies, and in my opinion, works so well. Ghost Rider also had a very awesome design, if I'm being honest. He had a cool design, and in my opinion, he just made Team Flash more scared and more depressed, which in my opinion, I absolutely love. I love when superhero shows take a more sad and more depressing kind of look instead of the more happy looks. Yeah. Coming in number 2, we have Quicksilver. He was the main villain for season 1, and in my opinion, was fantastic, In the reveal that he has the Speed Force, the Strength Force, the Stage Force, and the Still Force, in my opinion, made him a very more powerful villain. But the fact that he killed Barry's mother is really the reason I love Quicksilver on the show. He was such a fantastic antagonist. Barry really hated Quicksilver so much, to a point I don't think Barry really was relieved when Quicksilver died. In my opinion, Quicksilver, just such a threatening antagonist, very scary, but overall an awesome villain. And finally, number 1, we have P. Anderson. P. Anderson was the primary villain for the first half of season 6, before Crisis on Infinite Earths. In my opinion, was the best villain on the show. You really saw him and Barry go at one another. My favorite Flash episode was in the Christmas party episode, where Team Flash, you kind of use it as kind of like their relief from stress with Crisis. And the fact that P was the husband of one of Barry's ex-girlfriends, but over time Barry starts realizing something